What is up, y'all? It is Paristtmpped, Paris TTMPPED, and today we're talking about dating when you are a trans person. Because boy, oh boy, no one talks about that shit. We love talking about how good we look, but dating, bro? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. So, I didn't really come out as like trans until high school. Yeah, high school was when I had more certainty about who I was, what I wanted to be. Because for a while, I really didn't know. I really didn't know who I was. I was just going through life confused as fuck. Sorry, this shadow shit is bothering me. Hold up. Maybe I can go this way. Alright. There we go. So, my first girlfriend ever, like, my first kiss with a girl was when I was 5. I was too fucking grown. But my first girlfriend, though, like, official girlfriend, was when I was in, I think, was it 7th grade? No. It was when I was 14. I was 14 years old. I had my first girlfriend over the summer, right before I was a freshman. And, like, she hit me up, and she was like, hey, what's up? And she honestly, she shot her shot, and, you know, she was Jamaican. So I was, like, right up my alley. Was good. So this is when I was still just like a lesbian or bisexual, whatever the fuck. I was just whatever. I was me. I was 14. It didn't really matter. So we're dating, and one day we went to the mall, and we had met up with like some of her friends that she knew from her school. Cause she lived in Barnegat, and I lived like 20 minutes from. I lived in Lakewood, so I lived like, it was only 20 minutes, but in my eyes, we were a long distance relationship. It was 20 minutes. So, or maybe 40, but it was still pretty close. So we meet up at the mall, and we're hanging out, and her friends are there. Now, one of the people are there. One of her friends is like a stud. Now, that stud's all quiet and chill, being all nonchalant, but I'm over here singing and laughing. So then when they leave, and she's like, why are you like that? And I'm like, why am I like what? And she's like a girl, like, you're not even like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, you're literally like, what the hell? That's contradictory. But and it was interesting because I never was told how I was being perceived before. So this is my first time almost hearing how someone was seeing me. So almost seeing me as masculine presenting but feminine acting. And I'm like, okay, that's really interesting, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't overanalyze it, you know, and I didn't let it get to my head. So that was kind of me, I guess, like my first relationship dating. And I didn't like it, honestly. So we kind of broke up because she was just interested. And I ended up dating this other girl now while I was in the play. Now, this is like my first like long-ass relationship. We dated for years. Now, when I first started dating her, I was still a lesbian. I was still bisexual, whatever the fuck. So with dating her, you know, that she was like, I was her first like LGBT plus relationship as well. So I'm over here like, oh, like, but I already knew. It was interesting though, because I told her it wouldn't be like dating like a girl. I told her it wouldn't be like that. I said, dating me is different. I'm different. Still didn't have a name for it, but I knew something was different about me. Now back to my first relationship, I had brought up to my first girlfriend, like, hey, like, you know, I like can't see myself as being like a girl when I grow up, like a lesbian woman. Like, but I didn't overthink it. And she was like, well, that's who you would be. Like, almost kind of just telling me who I was. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm dating my second girlfriend, and I told her the same thing. Like, you know, and she's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And this is like my first time now being accepted. You know, okay, like, oh, I can be whoever I want. So now time is passing. I'm in the play, and now I have to be Miss Hannigan. So I was... My first role as a freshman was I was in Annie. We did Annie, and I was Miss Hannigan. I did amazing. I was easy street, doo-doo, easy street, where they play all day. I did do a damn good job, but that role taught me. It taught me about myself. I felt so uncomfortable having to go out on stage and then present myself as this woman. I'm like, bro, this isn't me. Something feels wrong. This is not me. But then a lesbian is still this. This is still me. That's not who I am. So I really had to kind of just sit and evaluate myself Now, with dating her, she was getting me more confident in being more masculine in my energy. Because like I said, with my parents, if you watch any of my last videos, my parents made it hard for me to give into any kind of masculine tendency. My mom kind of picked out anything that was out of the ordinary. And so I kind of just didn't know how to act. So now with dating her, she was like, okay, I can see who you are, and I see it. So I dated her for a while, honestly, and it was like my first relationship where I was kind of giving into this man, this male, this whoever was inside, you know what I'm saying? So over time I told her, like, sometimes I want to be a boy, I'm not gonna lie to you, but like I don't know if my parents would, how they would feel. And she was like, me either. I don't know how my parent would feel if they knew, like, you know what I'm saying? Because she was still in the closet as well. So she went and told her mom about me and that how we were officially in a relationship. So I was like, fuck, like, if you can be open about yourself, maybe I should gain the courage to be open about myself. So I hang up the phone, and I remember, I think that was the day where I sat my dad down and I was like, hey, like, I'm bisexual. But I knew that I knew that I was going to keep going down the spectrum to the other side. So now we're dating, time is passing, we're hanging out, we're doing this stuff. And the next year, we're doing this play called In the Heights. In the Heights, I flip the lights and start my day. Hit it right, and bills to pay. That shit was a vibe. So we did In the Heights. Now, I auditioned, but I at this point, my hair was short as shit. I was getting my shape ups. I had like little baby locks. I'm dressing like a straight nigga. So I get the role as Graffiti Pete. In my soul, I felt excited, but my brain goes, how are you going to tell your parents that you got a male role? They're going to know. So I freak the fuck out and I have a mental breakdown. Literally mental breakdown. I start crying. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Now, this was the universe, I feel like, testing me, showing me, okay, you are being presented with the possibility of giving into what you want. Do you want this? Because now I'm being presented with the fact that all my past ideas. Like, I literally had my sister, who's not my sister now. I mean, she's my sister for like 10 seconds. But I had her like doing male dressing photo shoots where we would dress like niggas and just be like, why was we doing that at 11? What the fuck was I like? Obviously something's up. So some of those things were like kind of getting that role was making me kind of like have to reflect and kind of lean into what I want willingly. So that the whole play happens. At the end, I'm hella excited. I'm giving into it now and I'm accepting myself. Now I start telling people over time, okay, I'm going by he, him pronouns, whatever. People were getting it wrong like fucking crazy. I even had people call me a different name for a period of time because I knew that they were never going to get it right. But it was one of those things where I had to just understand that it's a process, that it took time. And then I go to college. And that's when my life completely changes. Me and my ex, we break up. And now I'm starting to go after people with this version of me. No one knows who I used to be. This is me. So now I can be the man I want to be. So I start testosterone. I do all that stuff. And so my freshman year, I'm on the LGBT plus floor. It was called the Live Lavender floor or something like that. C100. And I don't remember if I dated somebody before her. I don't remember. But I know that I had dated this one girl. And she took my first like relationship after like not dating for a long time. That shit was interesting because it was an LGBT plus floor. She didn't really care if I was trans. Like I think she was like bisexual or like whatever, pansexual. She didn't really give a fuck about none of that shit. So I didn't have to like explain myself. And I was like, It was just like honestly just dating for the energy. Of course, we realized we were definitely not compatible. Hell no. And we didn't work. And so then I date again. and I'm dating more people. I'm kind of like dipping my toes around. At the time Tinder was popping, so now I'm kind of like putting he, him, or they're putting a little trans flag in the bio. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just getting a feel of how dating is, understanding how it works and how to navigate through it. And it really wasn't until, was it my junior or senior year? I don't really remember. I started to date again, like actually a full relationship. And so this is like this is like junior year. This is basically how I look. I'm passing. This is me. So no one knows I'm trans at this point. It's like my septum is no longer a dead giveaway. If anything, it makes people think that I'm just a gay male, a gay cis male. So one day I go to see my friend at this like event that they were having, and she's standing next to this girl, and I'm like, ooh, who the fuck is this? And I say it right in front of her. I'm like, oh, who's your friend? So we shake hands, we meet. She's ironically Jamaican, and we end up kicking it off, whatever. Now I'm nervous. I'm like, fuck, she don't know I'm trans. Like, oh shit, like what do I do? So I'm texting her. We're really kicking it off. We're sending paragraphs to each other like that. So then I tell her, okay, I'm trans, by the way. I don't know if that's... Oh, before I tell you what happens next, let's backtrack. So around the time I get top surgery, I'm on Tinder, I'm doing my thing, and I text this girl, and we are planning a day to meet. We plan a day to meet up and everything like that. And then I tell her, oh, by the way, I'm trans. I don't know if that's like a turn off or whatever. And she goes, oh. And she like stopped texting me completely. Like she completely just stopped texting me. So that low key traumatized me for like 10 seconds because I was like, damn, like. So sorry, there's people walking and kind of distracting me. I was in my zone. I was in my talking zone. So then, that's kind of where I was like not left at, but I'm always like in the back of my brain thinking about. So I texted her like, hey, I don't know how you feel about that, and she goes, oh, that's fine. I'm bisexual. I'm like, oh. Hold up. Oh, I completely left out a whole... I ended up like dating one of my friends, and like one of my other friends liked me, but that's just whatever. That's a different whatever. Same shit, different toilet. So like, so dang, they throwing rocks and shit. I'm too grown for that. So sorry. So, I end up... What ends up happening? So, yeah, so she texts me, she says she's bisexual. I'm like, okay, bet. Like, we're gonna work. This can work, baby. Like, we what's up? So, we end up dating for a while, and it ends up not working out. And so then I end up dating again and having to kind of come out the closet again, and they're just so... They're ironically... They don't care. You know what I'm saying? So then I kind of... So where's my take of this story? Because I'm not going to tell you like, any specific stories, because that's a subscribe right there. If you want to hear some story times of relationships, traumas, it's like, nah. Like, what I learned from all those experiences is that when you're trans, like, you will have to tell people who you are. You have to. And me, I'm kind of accepting being a YouTuber and being an influencer and being someone that people are just going to know about me. So I am what I am, and it is what it is. If you know, like that's kind of the point. But there are going to be people, some people aren't going to just be waving their flag around. So how do you find people? How do you date? I say you got to look for yourself in the crowd. I feel like I always go after girls that I can, if they like me, they might not care. Because I feel like, look at my vibe. Like, now, not everyone is giving like... So I tend to date people that look LGBT plus. Like my one girl, like my one ex, like she had like a septum. So I feel like if they're like they got a little bit dye in their hair or a fucking nose piercing, like they just a little edgy. If they like certain kind of music they listen to, I feel like you gotta really just kind of fill out the air with people. I would say stay off the dating apps. Personally, I feel like dating apps kind of force you in this box with these other people who are looking for dating. People who are, I don't know. I just wouldn't go on dating apps looking for a partner. who's LGBT plus. I mean, Bumble, I've heard people who got into relationships from being on Bumble and shit. So if you have luck on that, I'd say check Bumble, check Tinder. There are apps out there. People have dated from TikTok, but that would help for you to find someone that's in that specific category for dating. But in terms of like the, I guess out in the world, you got to look for yourself out in the world. I mean, of course, your type. But and when you realize you want to date, you have to realize you might have to put yourself in that vulnerable position, unfortunately. Because like I said, there was not always a time where I was passing 100%. But that's why I had to always say, hey, after they get to know me a little bit, I go, hey, I am, I'm trans, by the way. I don't know how you feel about that. And if they don't like it, then they don't like it. Go on to the next. You can't let that bother you. Shit, check the comment section. The whole comment section, LGBT plus. Fuck. I mean, no, actually, maybe they're not. But I mean, if you're watching this video, maybe you want to learn about it, so maybe you're not LGBT plus. But I'm just saying, like, they're out there, and a lot of people I've dated, some people are straight, like they don't care. Like some people literally just are open-minded and would not mind and are not judgmental. You want to make sure you stay and find people like that. You don't get too lost in that straight homophobic, worried about your life world. It's like it's there, but we are also here, open-minded people who don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find your soulmate. You know what I'm saying? Like, check Starbucks. Starbucks, we have people in college. They're everywhere. Lord, if you're in school right now, they're in theater club. They are in the singing. They're singing. They're making art. They're in New York. They're in the coffee shops. They have cool hair, crazy styles. They're open-minded. They're artsy. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying us artsy people are usually, not saying usually LGBT plus, but we're usually understanding of the LGBT plus community. So try it, first look for us and then keep it 7, you know what I'm saying? That's what I look for. I tend to just gravitate towards it. I be thinking the person I like might not like be with it, and then they usually do. So I'm like, Of course, I've been reading my comments about like, trans women have a whole different kind of experience. What would you do? I feel like with trans, I had some trans friends who are also, trans women. And it's one of those things where I would say that would be where dating apps, like looking for people, because safety is important. Looking for people who are going to accept you for you. Because it all just depends on who you are. It does. Because, like, men are... For me, like, if I go up to a girl, like, even if she is transphobic or something, what the fuck she gonna do? Like, she probably thought I was gonna come snatch her up. So, but when a trans woman, their life is at stake. Always, if you are looking for a date, one night, go out with a friend, you know what I'm saying? And look for the men with the septum piercings and the hairs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of those things where we're everywhere. So, yeah. The community is everywhere. We're just hidden. Go to the LGBT plus clubs and the LGBT plus nights and shit like that. There are events and stuff that are specific. And go for Pride. Shit. Pride got to be the day you look for your... Shit. Pride gotta be the day. The day of Pride, go to any parade and look for your hun bun. And they're gonna be out there waiting for you. I've literally watched a couple get started and they're still dating to this day because they met at Pride. I'm realizing a lot of us are afraid to just go up to people. And I do understand regular people, maybe not. But LGBT plus, we're usually nicer than we think. I don't know why we have this thing in our mind. We're open-minded. We should be able to talk to each other and be able to just conversate and date. You know what I'm saying? If y'all have any questions or topics you want me to touch on, comment down below. I do read every comment. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, it's 20 minutes. So if you made it this far in the video, because y'all be making it far in the video. Let me see. What should I say? If y'all made it this far in the video, say realms of loving. Realms. REALM of loving. Check out my music under Paristtmpped, Paristtmpped. And I will catch y'all on the flip. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate honestly everything. This is blessings above blessings. Y'all continue to just make me realize it's important to just give into who I am and understand that my story is beautiful and it's important. And I will continue to share it with y'all. Thank you.